And I think to have that fight here on British soil is, man, can you imagine that? Like, I would even, if Fury, if you need me for sparring, we're gonna fight one day. I'll spar Tyson Fury when we were kids anyway. I would go out to America and spar Tyson Fury and get ready for this Wilder fight because I would like that fight because I think Fury would fight me faster than Wilder would. And I think to have that fight here on British soil is, man, can you imagine that? Like, I would even, if Fury, if you need me for sparring, we're gonna fight one day. I'll spar Tyson Fury when we were kids anyway. I would go out to America and spar Tyson Fury and get ready for this Wilder fight because I would like that fight because I think Fury would fight me faster than Wilder would.
So we just heard there from Anthony El Patron, Anthony, the glorified sparring partner, Joshua. And first things first, I've got to be honest on this one. This man is, people say, oh, this, that, the other, oh, it's all a big gimmick, oh, he's too humble, whatever. This man is truly humble. Name me one time in history, never mind nothing else, name me one time in history, the pound for pound Cash King has offered himself for training services. This is unparalleled. It never happened before. People in his position don't lower themselves. Not even lowering yourself, but I see it from AJ's position. He's thinking to himself, you know what? Number one, I get a preview. I sparred Fury. I whooped up Fury 5 years ago. If I can go in there, give him some work, whoop him again, and download some information ready for if and when we do fight in the future, that's great. But not only that, he's thinking about it in terms of a commercial sense. You know what? If I can go in there and help Fury with training and hopefully get Fury the belt, then maybe we'll get that fight first, because Wilder don't want no problems. And I kind of understand that logic, but for this video, I'm not going to talk about the whole AJ saying that the Fury fight's more likely than the Wilder fight, because I'll cover that in a separate video. This video, I want to concentrate on the actual bottom line of, should AJ go and offer spar him? Should he do it? Is it likely, etc, etc. Now, in my opinion, should AJ do it? Listen, the bottom line is, anyone who follows my channel, you'll know that Fury is finished, man. Fury is finished. Now, I understand what AJ wants to do. He believes the Fury fight's more likely. I'm not so sure. I'm not sure neither of them want it. The bottom line is, people can sit there and say, oh, well, Wilder turned down 140 million. Fury turned down similar amounts. He's turned down the AJ fight at 60-40. Let's get something straight. Wilder and Fury have been offered the same deals. Wilder 60-40, AJ 60-40. And do you remember when AJ offered Fury 60-40? What did he say? Him and Ben Davison came out and said, oh yes, well, oh yes, oh 50-50, I'll offer AJ 50-50. Talking about how he'll offer AJ 50-50. Oh yes, I'll offer AJ 40-60 in my favour. All this kind of business. The man's delusional. So, whilst I see where AJ's coming from, I wouldn't put too much faith in Fury either. Fury, in my opinion, if he did beat Wilder, which he won't, because he's finished, but if he did, I can see him just hanging around as he's been doing. Let's get it right. It's not as if Wilder's been doing stuff, Fury's been doing stuff which is kind of AJ's level, like, oh well, he's been fighting this guy and that guy. He's been fighting a whole load of stiffs. If he wins the WBC belt, it's not even, I'm not even speculating on if he wins it. He ain't winning it, in my opinion. But then again, that said, his best chance of winning it surely is if AJ goes and helps with sparring. That said, even if AJ does go and help sparring, AJ and Wilder are two different cats. AJ will outbox Fury in sparring and otherwise. He'll outbox Fury, he'll out-inside Fury, AJ's better than Fury in every department. That's just the cold facts on this one. So yeah, it will benefit Fury in general, but it's also going to break his confidence. As an example, we already know, I've exposed it a few weeks ago, we already know Fury and Ben Davison were taking padding out of the gloves to spar E-level heavyweights. What do you think is going to happen? If Fury can't get confidence against E-level heavyweights we've never heard of before, how... AJ's... Listen, and the scary thing is, them whole accusations of Fury taking padding out the gloves, that literally happened before the first Wilder fight. Literally, it was the Wilder camp. That's when this allegations of taking padding out of gloves took place. So I'm thinking to myself, if Fury couldn't get confidence against D-level sparring partners, E-level sparring partners in 2018, bearing in mind he was coming off 2 alright wins in that sense, he's just gone life and death with Wallin. He's just left his trainer, so we know, psychologically speaking, Fury ain't in the best position here. And actually, I'm going to do a video on this in its own right, but even Fury's reaction to AJ offering him, Fury was begging it. Oh, please, AJ. Oh, AJ, please. Please, AJ. I'd love to have you here, AJ. Please, AJ. Save me from Wild, AJ. He was begging it. Now, I actually feel a bit sorry for Fury because how hard he was begging AJ to come and help him. I feel bad. Honestly, it's not. I'm not. People think I'm a Fury hater. I used to love Fury, but my feelings have changed towards Fury is only to do with his actions, but that's here or there. The fact of the matter is, as a man to a man, I don't want to see a man like that. He was begging AJ for help, begging. Listen, Fury, if you got to beg for help, man, don't do it. I'm telling you now, I know a lot of your fans want to see you box people's head off and they've lost the plot. Your knees can't, listen, you can't land. Your knees haven't got no spring left. They've crystallised, yeah? Your knees are crystallising. This is typical, this is classical. This is classic. This is De Gale Theory 101. Your knees are rock solid. Just ask yourself the question: do you think in 2015 or 2014 you would have gone life and death with Otto Wallin? And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. People think I'm picking on Fury. Absolutely not. If Anthony Joshua ever goes 50-50, gets cut, can't use his legs, getting whacked all around the ring by Otto Wallin, I will come on here and say, AJ, we've had a great run, but as a fan of you, I don't want to see no more of that. Do you know what I mean? Ruiz, AJ got slapped around by Ruiz, essentially, but the difference is, number one, Ruiz in his own right has all-time great level speed. In his own right has all-time great level combination punching. Historically speaking, tell me one person who has noticeably quicker hands than Ruiz, who has better combinations than Ruiz. I can't name a heavyweight who throws 5 shots at once. Never mind turning them all over as well, as Ruiz does, as an example. Otto Wallin doesn't have no all-time great level stats. No feet, no power, no nothing. And he was cutting you, nearly got stopped. Bob Arum had to pay the ref off to make sure he didn't get the stoppage, etc., etc. But my point is, I've kind of talked about the wrong video here. I'm going to talk about Fury's response in its own right, but I'm linking it back to this video, saying that Fury don't look too confident to me. But that said, back to this. Should AJ go and help Fury? I see both sides. From AJ's point of view, from a point of view of risk management, great. In as much as go there, download some of Fury's information, just in case Fury ever grows the nuts to actually get in there with you. And that's what I love about AJ. The fact I think he's really, since that loss with Ruiz, he's really in that developmental part. He's really in that developmental part of his career where he just wants to soak information up. He said it himself in the last few days. He said that before June 1st, he was in this mode where I'm winning, and he wasn't looking to grow. He was happy just doing what he was doing, which is fair enough when you're knocking everyone out and when you're winning with ease. But ever since the June 1st loss, just look at December 7th. That there was a studious performance. And now you can just tell he just wants to learn. He's not interested in ego. He's not interested in trying to be the man. He wants to download information. And I believe that's what that is. Because no matter what no one says, no matter what the YB says, Fury today is at least top 10. Meaning that any time you can get in the ring with a top 10 character, and many people will tell you he's top 3 or even top 1. So let's take their opinion, for example. Let's assume he is top 1. I don't think he is. I think he's top 10. But let's assume he is top 1. From AJ's point of view, he's thinking, you know what? If I can go in there and be around this top 1, top 3 character for 10 weeks, why wouldn't you do that? Download the information. And I think that's what I love about... No other fighter doing that. Historically speaking, as I've mentioned before, I'm not no historian, but tell me, maybe I'm wrong, but I can't remember Ali going into George Foreman's camp and helping him for Joe Fraser or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? This is truly... And people say... And this just proves it in a way that... It's not all an act. He's too humble. This, that, the other. No, the man is truly whatever that word is. That's what he is, and I really rate that about him. No one's looking to do that, but it proves that he's truly a scholar. Yeah, many people watched the performance on December 7th. Many people watched Anthony Joshua teach Andy Ruiz a PhD level boxing performance. Yeah, many people watched AJ issue a lesson in boxing to Ruiz. Many people watched AJ school Andy Ruiz. Yeah, many people watched Anthony Joshua tuition. Yeah, tuitioned. Andy Ruiz got tuitioned on December 7th. And people thought that was the end of it. Absolutely not. AJ's now happy. When was the fight? The fight was only 10 days ago. He's not. He's already back in. In fact, he was back in training. I was going to do a video on it, but I didn't get around to it. Fact of the matter is, he was back in training 3 days later. And now, 10 days later, he wants to go and help essentially his arch enemy to try and overcome the performance. And from that point of view, from a studious point of view, I think it's humbled me as a fan, to be honest. This sort of stuff is unparalleled, and for his career, it's truly, what's the word? Is it selfless? That's what it is. Come down to being selfless. He's not interested in his egos. He's not worried about his ego. Most people's ego would tell them, I'm a unified champion. I ain't going to go and be no one's sparring partner. But this proves to me even more of what I already knew. This man wants to be the best. He's not interested in all the goofy bits about, I'm gonna spite my fate, I'm gonna spite myself, I'm gonna not learn from other people just because I'm the big man. Absolutely not. He's prepared to go into his arch enemy's camp and essentially learn information, and maybe not even that. Maybe AJ genuinely wants to try and help Fury beat Wilder, which is something we're going to talk about now. Can AJ, I touched on it briefly, but can AJ actually help Fury prepare for Wilder? In my opinion, I'm not so sure. That said, the reason I say that is that AJ, I guess to be fair, AJ could go in there and maybe try and mimic himself on Wilder. Does that make sense? I think if AJ does go there, he should go there on the basis that, you know what, I'm actually going to try and box like Wilder. And to be honest, I don't think that's a bad idea, in as much as AJ's one-punch skill set is probably one of his weaker skill sets, isn't it, when you think about it? Now, the last time I remember a one-punch kind of shot was kind of back in the Charles Martin days, which was one of my favourite KOs of all time for AJ. When he just, I think Charles Martin went to step in with a jab. He kind of catched the jab and whip, dinged the right hand, and that was all she wrote. That's some of the most beautiful work, catch and countering from AJ. So if I was AJ for this camp, I'd literally go in there and work on my one-shot placement game. Yeah, that right hand. That's what you want to do. You don't always, as he's proven on December 7th, he's shown he's very ambidextrous. He can do different things, but that's the next thing I'd work on. And it makes sense if you're going to go into the Fury camp and try and prepare him for Wilder. It makes sense. What Fury needs to work on is dodging a right hand and a left hook after it. So I think that's in that sense it can benefit both people. And if AJ goes in there with that mindset of I'm going to mimic Wilder, that could help Fury. If he goes in there on the basis that I'm just going to try and win the sparring sessions or whatever, then I think both fighters won't gain as much. And that's what they should both ideally do. If the truth be known, in my opinion, AJ should go in. If he does go there, he should go in there on the basis that I am going to do my best to give you one shot. Because one thing we do know, Wilder, he don't have no. Yes, he can slap around the place. If he does land a right hand, yes, he will start swinging around all the fences. But I wouldn't recommend that from AJ to do that anyway. I reckon AJ should train on ding a right hand, and then if you do land it, then start putting some short shots together. Because if Fury can defend the right hand and then defend short shots, Wilder's long goofy shots, they're easier to defend. I'm telling you now, short shots are the hardest ones to defend because you don't get a lot of time to see them. They're whip, and that's all she wrote, kind of thing. But will it happen? I think it's pretty likely, you know. People are saying, "Oh, AJ's just saying it." No, I don't think AJ's not someone who talks rubbish. I think he's seen the opportunity here to learn from someone who many people put highly, i.e. Fury. And why wouldn't you do that? We don't know how long Fury's going to be in the sport. Why would you not? Why would you waste that? For all we know, he gets knocked out by Wilder and he retires, for example. So why would you want to leave that opportunity? Great from AJ. Go there and download it. And for all you know, maybe your relationship gets strengthened if you do go into the camp, which is another smart move. Go there. Maybe at this point in time, Fury and Wilder are both equally as likely to duck you. However, if you go into camp with Fury for 12 weeks, you're likely to develop a relationship much more deeply, which may actually bring Fury around to actually fighting you. But listen, I wouldn't put it past no one at this point. I've seen it all now. The fact we've seen Wilder turn down 60-40, Fury turn down 60-40, and literally there's been no communications. Do you remember, when was it? May 25th or something, 2019, when AJ sat down 4 days before his fight and said, listen guys, in fact I think it was like 2 days before his fight, he said, listen guys, Fury, Wilder, please man, come and see. AJ was begging to sit down with both of them. Both of them two were saying, oh, yeah, oh, trying to be funny and goofy about it, trying to laughing at, oh yeah, we've got AJ begging, doing all this weird stuff. So that part of me thinks that, yeah, I'm not sure, but maybe, who knows, man, who knows. So in reality, is Fury more likely? Maybe he is, but I haven't seen nothing from neither of them. But then again, to be fair, part of me has always thought that I think what Fury wants to do is get the WBC belt and then come to AJ on more of a level. But still, even if Fury wins the WBC belt, if he was offered 60-40 without a belt, I'm sorry, it doesn't become 55-45 or 50-50 because you got a belt. It never should have been 60-40 in the first place. Fury with no belt is 70-30 at max. I'm talking max. And then if he gets a WBC belt, then it should be 60-40 max. I'm not being funny. It shouldn't even be neither of them anyway. If you go on an actual cash generated basis, Fury's selling 4,000 tickets. 4,000 tickets when my man's selling 80. That don't get you no 60-40. But anyway, I digress. Fundamentally speaking, from AJ's point of view, from AJ's fan point of view, I think it will be great for both men either way. When you've got two high-level people in the ring, even if he doesn't mimic Wilder, it's still going to be good work. AJ can download some valuable information, Fury can download some valuable information, and also they can build their relationship. Lastly, I'll just say that if AJ does go there, listen AJ man, like I said at the start of this video, go easy on Fury man. I'm telling you now, as a boxing fan, as a humanitarian, AJ, do not go in there, even if you're pretending to be Wilder, don't go in there and load up. Probably put about 20% of your snap on it, because if you put any more than 20% on your snap on it, Fury's confidence is going to be shot. We already know he likes to do. That's another thing as well. Make sure you check the gloves, because you know my man will be if he's trying to get a one-up on E-level sparring partners, you can bet your bottom dollar he's going to try and get a one-up on the man himself. So just be careful, make sure I want all gloves checked, no goofy stuff going on, and also, the other thing is, if you genuinely want to help Fury, don't be putting too much snap on your shots, because this man, his legs have gone, and he ain't got no power. We've all seen the video now of him sparring his younger brother, a younger brother who's 100 pounds lighter than him. He's a light heavyweight, going life and death in body sparring, loading up, wah, wah, hoo, hoo, hoo. As he throws his hooks, loading all the way up on them hooks and not doing no damage against a 175er when you're a 300-pound man. Yeah, this man's finished. So just bear that in mind. If he's gonna, I don't even think. Listen, if the truth be known, the fight shouldn't be happening. Wilder versus Fury shouldn't be happening, in my opinion. But listen, I'll be the first person to say, if Fury does go in there and murks and beats Fury, even if it's boring, even if he beats Wilder like he beat Klitschko, I'll come on here and I'll say fair play to him, because it should never happen. In my opinion, there's no way. I am 100% sure, 99% sure that Wilder beats Fury. And if he proves me wrong, I'll come on here and say, listen, don't ever listen to YB. He's not shot. Because when I say things, maybe I'm deluded, but I actually believe them. I actually believe I have diagnosed Tyson Fury with DeGaleitis. Genuinely. So if he goes in there and he pulls it off, I'll put my hands in the air and say, listen, my whole DeGaleitis theory's wrong. But if I'm right, you Fury fans, you best come here and repent. You best. Anyway, last thing last. Big shout out to my Sicilian Don, Patreon General, salute, General, Carluccio, my main Danizel. Anyone else who wants to come through, get daily exclusive live streams with the YB, interact with the YB, support the YB, patreon.com/the YB, and I'll catch you there. Respect.